Today, I would like to continue from where we left off last week, Pei Vav Amud Aleph. Again, our goal is to get to Daf Tzadik by the end of the Zman. For next Zman, we'll be able to pick up with the 10th parak from where we will leave off in Mirza Hashem. So starting on Pei Vav Amud Aleph, Omar Ameimar, Mishmei de Rav Chama, right in the middle of the page. Somebody who has an obligation to pay both a Kesubos Isha and to pay a Baal Chov. And he has in his possession both money and property in order to pay for the Kesuba and for the Baal Chov. The Baal Chov mitzalkin alei bezuzi. So he pays the money to the Baal Chov. And as Rashi points out, since the Baal Chov gave him money, therefore he repays the Baal Chov with money. To the woman he gives the property, the possessions, since she relied on his property in her Kesuba. When she wrote the Kesuba, she relied on the fact that he has property that he will use in order to pay for her Kesuba. Therefore, therefore he pays the Baal Chov with money, according to his din, and he pays the Isha with the property, according to her halacha. However, if you have a situation where the Baal, after they get divorced, he only has one piece of property that is only enough to pay for either the Isha or for the Baal Chov, and Rashi points out that the shtaros of the Isha and the Kesuba, the shtar of the Baal Chov and the Kesuba were written on the same exact day, and therefore neither of them has precedence. Neither the Baal Chov nor the Isha has a claim to the land more than the other one. The Baal Chov yavin alei, the Isha lo yavin alei. So you give the property to the Baal Chov, you repay the loan, and you do not pay for the Kesuba. Obviously, the woman still has a chiyuv against the man, and if he has money in the future, he will have to repay that Kesuba as well. However, currently, first, he pays the Baal Chov and lets the Isha wait. My time, why? Yeser mimasha Isha lisa Isha linase. Says Rashi that we want to ensure that a malveh is willing to lend his money, and we don't want to close the door before those who need loans. And therefore, in order to maintain a relationship between the malveh and the loiveh, we ensure that the malveh is going to get repaid more readily, more quickly than the Isha. The Isha wants to get married anyways, and even if at the end of the day she doesn't get her Kesuba, she wants to get married more than the man wants to marry her. And therefore, even in a situation where she recognizes that she's not going to get her Kesuba, she's still willing to take the plunge and get married anyways. Omar lei Rav Papa to Rav Chama. So Rav Papa asks a question to Rav Chama. Vada dimros mishmei de Rava haiman de maski bezuzei. Isn't it true that they say in the name of Rava that somebody, the maski pezuze, that he borrowed money, and he has a piece of property, and he has a person that he has to pay the property to. And the Baal Chov comes, and he demands, he demands his loan back, and the loiveh, the borrower, says, no problem, take the piece of property that I have to pay you back with. Amrin and lei, so we say to the loiveh, zil zobin at, v'aisi havlei, go sell your property, get cash, and use that cash, use that money to repay the loan. Isn't that what they said in the name of Rabbi? Isn't that the statement that we've heard in the name of Rabbi all the time? Responds Rav Chama, Amar lo, no, that's not what Rabbi said. That is definitely not what Rabbi said. So So Rav Papa says, hold on. So what was the situation? Tell me the details of the situation, exactly what occurred. So Amar Lei says, Rav Chama, the reason that Rav demanded that the Loveh go and take his land, exchange it for money, and repay the Malveh, was because this case was unique. In general, the Loveh is not demanded to be matriach. We don't force the Loveh to go out of his way to exchange the property for money, to sell the property in order to have cash on hand. However, here, since he was toile ma'isav ba'ivei koichavim have, since this Loveh says, I don't have any money. This money is the money necessary to pay off a non-Jewish person. It's a non-Jewish money. It's not my money. Therefore, Therefore, since this Loveh acted inappropriately, therefore we act with him also inappropriately. Therefore, we demand that he exchange the property for money, although normally the Loveh does not have to exchange property for money. Amar later of Kahana Rav Papa. L'didach the Priyas Bal Choiv Mitzvah. According to you, Rav Papa, that told me in Meseches Baba Mitzvah that paying off a loan is a mitzvah, that you have to repay your loan, and not only do you have to repay your loan, when you repay the loan, you are fulfilling a positive mitzvah de'araisa. L'didach amarta Priyas Bal Choiv Mitzvah. Amar lo nichali da'avin mitzvah mai. So if the Loveh says, I don't want to do the mitzvah, what do? What is the necessary recourse for the individual? Rashi points out a fascinating thing. Rashi tells us, why is Priyas Bal Chov mitzvah? Rashi says, since I said I was going to repay, there's a mitzvah in the Torah, la'amez devarav, to make your words true, to pay back in order to justify that which you said earlier that you're going to pay. La'amez devarav. So if a person says, I don't want to fulfill the mitzvah d'oraisa, I know I owe the money, but I don't want to do it, what do? So Amar Lei. So Rav Papa responds, Tanina. It's a brisa. That which the Torah says, that you give a guy 40 lashes for violating a law, for violating a mitzvah in the Torah, that's only when it's a lo saseh. If I have a mitzvah saseh, but when it comes to a positive commandment, to make a sukkah and he doesn't do it. Lulav veino, he said, take a lulav, do the mitzvahs al lulav, and he doesn't do it. Then makin oisoy achetetze nafsho. Then in order to fulfill a positive commandment, before he violates it, while he still has the opportunity to fulfill the mitzvah, we give him malchus to such a degree, achetetze nafsho, to the degree that he's actually going to die from the malchus. Now, I don't know if it literally means, according to many Rishonim, it doesn't mean literally they whip him and lash him, give him lashes and beat him until he actually dies, but there's a severe degree of capital punishment that we're going to actually give him malchus for a very long time until he fulfills the mitzvah. Rabbi Barchama asks Rav Chizda, if a man gives a woman a get, and he says, this is your get, but you cannot use it, you will not be divorced for the next 30 days. And the woman went, and she left it on the side of the Rosh Hashanah. In other words, not the area that the people normally travel on. It's right next to the wall that if you walk over there, you're going to bump into the wall, scratch yourselves on the wall. So people don't normally travel there. However, it's still part of the Rosh Hashanah. So she left her get over there in the Rosh Hashanah. And guess what? 30 days later, the get was still there. No one touched it. No one moved it. Are they divorced? Mahu. So Amalei, Rav Chisda responds, Eina migureshes. They're not divorced. Why? Midrav v'Shmuel. Based on the following halacha, Rav Shmuel, Rav Shmuel, David Avayu, Ushad Zaburim, Melacha B'Ushad Zarabim. V'tzidi Ushad Zarabim, Ushad Zarabim Dami. The halacha is that if certain things are in the Rishus Rabbim, the Mishnah tells us that if certain things are in the Rishus Rabbim, anyone who wants can go and be zoicha in them. We're going to see it's a statement of the Gemara much earlier, but the things that are in the Rishus Rabbim that have no indication as to who owns them, anyone who wants can go and be zoicha in those things. That's true both in the Rishus Rabbim and the Siddur Rishus Rabbim, indicating that things that are left in the Rishus Rabbim, even if they are munach, they're tzevurim, they're together, and they are situated in a space in the Rishus Rabbim that they don't get knocked over, nonetheless they have a din of hefker. You're not zeicha in them through a kinyan chatzar. They're not considered guarded in my property while they're sitting in the Rishus Rabbim. And see, the Rishus Rabbim have a din as the Rishus Rabbim, just like the Rishus Rabbim as well. Therefore, her get might still be in the place that she left it. She did a good job. She found a nice place. But since it's a din of a tzidei Rishus Rabbim, and tzidei Rishus Rabbim have a din of a Rishus Rabbim, they're not considered, the get is not considered situated in her property after 30 days later. Says the Gemara, Adarabba, Megureshes midrab Nachman. Hold on. I can prove to you that really they should be divorced based on Rav Nachman. If a man says to his friend, can you do a kinyan on this para? Do a kinyan mashich on the para. But you're going to make the kinyan now. But you're only going to acquire the para after 30 days. Come. Then it's a good valid kinyan. Even if the para 30 days later is standing in the agam, it's in the middle of the swampland. In other words, it's not in anyone's property. It's not in the buyer or seller's rishos. Nonetheless, the kinyan done now will work for 30 days later. Says the Gemara, my love, shouldn't we say that Tzidur Rishus Rabbim is equivalent, as the same halacha as an agam? What difference would it make if it's in the agam, it's all the way out there in the swampland, or if it's sitting right here in the Tzidur Rishus Rabbim, knocking up against the wall? Answer the Gemara, lo, agam l'chud v'Tzidur Rishus Rabbim l'chud. You cannot compare an agam to Tzidur Rishus Rabbim. An agam is a place that no one is there. An agam is situated far out from civilization where no one actually walks there. I agree with you. Tzidur Rishus Rabbim, normally people don't travel there. But at the end of the day, when there are a lot of people in the Rishus Rabbim, people do bump into that area. It is an area people frequent. And therefore, you cannot compare Tzidur Rishus Rabbim to an agam. Iketa Amri, there are those that taught this halacha the exact opposite. They should be divorced. Rav Nachman. They should be divorced, just like Rav Nachman said that if a person makes a kinyan mashicha now on the para, that's only going to take effect in 30 days, even if the para is situated in agam, the kinyan still works. And we'll say that it's Tzidur Rishus Rabbim, the same halacha, they're equal. We'll equate them to an agam. Says the Gemara, they should not be divorced based on the halacha of Rav Shmuel. That Rav Shmuel say Tzidur Rishus Rabbim are like Rishus Rabbim and not like an agam. It's not a place that anything can be considered in my possession. And it's the Gemara, lo, lav hain Rishus Rabbim, hain Rishus Rabbim. And it's the Gemara, lo, Rishus Rabbim l'chud, Tzidur Rishus Rabbim l'chud. You can't compare. Even though Rav Shmuel said that things that are tzevurim munachim that are situated in the Rishus Rabbim, somebody could come and be zeicha them without a problem, because they're considered hefker. We could distinguish between Rishus Rabbim and tzidei Rishus Rabbim. That the thoroughfare where people are walking all the time, where traffic is heavy, so I agree, that's Rishus Rabbim. And anything that goes into the Rishus Rabbim, anything that's in the Rishus Rabbim is a din of hefker. But tzidei Rishus Rabbim, since people don't normally travel there, aren't normally found there, and something could remain in tzidei Rishus Rabbim for a long time, so therefore it doesn't have a halacha of Rishus Rabbim. Rishus Rabbim l'chud, but tzidei Rishus Rabbim l'chud. Says the Mishnah, Hamoishev es ishtoi chedvanis. If a person makes his wife into the store owner, she's the one sitting, the salesman behind the counter, shemina apetropa, or the husband made the wife into the apetropa. She was in charge of his possessions. She's the one that's bringing in the payros into the store, into the storehouse. She's the one that's going out to find the workers. So husband can make her take a shavua whenever he desires to ensure that she's fulfilling her obligations and she's not taking anything from his possessions. Rabbi Eliezer Omer, afilo pilcha b'alisasa. Rabbi Eliezer says, hold on, he can even make her take a shavua on a pilcha, on a nido, or even on dough. In other words, he gives her stuff all the time. And so no matter what, any small little thing, he's able to force his wife to take a shavua on. Ibailahu, ask the Gemara clarification. Let's understand Rabbi Elazar's shita better. Rabbi Eliezer, al gidei gilgul ke'amar or lechatchila ke'amar? The Tanna Kama said that a husband's able to make his wife take a shavua to ensure that she wasn't stealing anything, that she wasn't using his possessions incorrectly, that she was fulfilling her obligations. And Rabbi Eliezer said, not only on the store, not only on the payers, not only on big things, but even on a pilcha b'sas, a small little insignificant object, he can force her to take a shavua on those as well. Now, when Rabbi Eliezer was saying that, was he saying that the husband can go and say, hey lady, you have to take a shavua on the pilcha that you didn't steal any needles from me? Or no? Once she's already taking a shavua on one thing, he's allowed to do gilgul shvua. He's allowed to roll over. He's allowed to make that shvua not only take effect for one thing, but demand his wife to take shvua on many things, a shavua on many things as well. We know by the Gemara in Sota, it says amen, that she wasn't mizana now, and she says amen a second time to say she wasn't mizana in the past as well, even though he has no right to demand that she takes a shavua on the past events. Once she's taking a shavua on the current events, he's allowed to be megalgel and obligate her to take a shavua on past events as well. So that which Rabbi Eliezer said that he's allowed to force his wife to take a shavua on pilcha v'sisasa, these small little insignificant things, is it specifically lechatchila or only al yedei gilgul? Tashma. Amru lo Rabbi Eliezer, they said, the Chachamim responded to Rabbi Eliezer, you're wrong. You know why you're wrong? Now, the statement we've heard in the Gemara many times already, that a person won't live in the same small little area, in the small cell or box with a snake. If a husband is so makbid on his wife, that she has to take a shavua anytime he wants, even on a small little insignificant thing, so the woman isn't going to want to live with her husband. She's not able to live in such a relationship. So if you understand that Rabbi Eliezer was saying that the husband can make his wife take a shavua on everything all the time, no matter what, so I understand why the Rabbanim responded to Rabbi Eliezer. But if you tell me that Rabbi Eliezer was only saying once she's already taking a shavua on the big things, the husband can demand her to take a shavua on the small things as well, my nafka lamina. What difference does it make to her that she's taking an additional shavua on the small things? The amrlei having the kadayak the basrai kulehai lo matzina the other bahadach. Why does she care so much that once she responds to her husband and says, you're being so makbid with me, you're so careful with me about these big things, therefore I can't live with you anymore. What do you mean? There was a major event that occurred. There was a very significant reason to suspect his wife, and therefore he caused her to take a shavua. Once he's causing her to take a shavua on the big things, therefore he demanded to also take a shavua on the pilcha v'sisasa. But he didn't come and cause her to take a shavua stam for no reason, just on the pilcha v'sisasa. So why does she have such a problem to live with her husband? Why did the Rabban respond? It must be, we see from here, that Rabbi Eliezer was saying that a husband can even demand his wife to take a shavua on pilcha v'sisasa lechatchila. Tashma, the The next mission is going to say that a man has the ability to write in the shtar, ksuba, or make a tanai at the time of the marriage, that he's not going to ever force her to take a shavua. But if he didn't write that, shelo potter as he didn't annul the wife's obligations from taking a neder a shavua. V'yishiva chadvanis shemin apitropa. Ariz mashbiach kol machiyetza. If he didn't annul her obligation, he didn't relinquish her obligation, so therefore he's allowed to demand her to take a shvuah anytime he wants. But if he didn't make her into a store, or the store owner, he didn't make her into the store watch, the storekeeper, or he didn't appoint her the person in charge of the store, and he can't force her to take a shvuah. That's the Tanakam. Even if he didn't make her into the sales lady, or he didn't make her the one in charge of the store, he's still allowed to force her to take a shvuah anytime he wants. Because there's no woman, every single lady becomes an apotropos on something of her husband's possessions, at least for one moment of her husband of their life together. Al pilcha, on a needle, al isisasa. So Amrullah, so the Chacham respond, no. You can't force every single woman to take a shvuah no matter what, no matter when, whenever the husband wants. It doesn't work like that. Because a woman's not going to be willing to live with her husband like that. A woman's not going to be willing to live with a husband that's so makbid and so medactic and looks after every little single thing that she does. She's not going to live with that type of a husband. It's not going to work. It's bad for the shalom bayis. So Mamela the Chacham say, if she becomes the storekeeper, if she becomes the one in charge of the store, okay, so you can force her to take a shvuah. But you can't force her to take a shvuah for every small, little, insignificant thing. Shema mina lechatchila, shema mina. So from there we see that Rabbi Eliezer was saying a husband can force his wife to take a shvuah, even lechatchila, for pilcha v'sisasa, for the small little things. Let's continue with the next Mishnah. Kasav l'neder v'shvuah v'einli alecha, einli alayich. If a man writes to his wife that I'm never going to demand from you a shvuah or a neder, ein yachal hashbiyah, he cannot force her to take a shvuah. Even if she becomes the storekeeper, even if she becomes the sales lady, he can't force her. Avamashbiyahu es yorsheha. But he is able to make the Yarshim, her Yarshim, if she dies, chas v'shalom, he can now force the Yarshim, her inheritors, to take a shavua that they don't have anything that's not theirs. V'esabayim b'rishusa. Or anyone who comes in her rishus. What does that mean? Rashi points out, if she sold her ksuba, and now the lukuchos are coming to collect the ksuba on her behalf, the buyer comes to collect on her behalf, so the buyer is coming in place of her, that buyer, the husband is able to force to take a shvuah. Neder v'shvuah in the elech v'el v'alaboim v'shusech. If he says in the ksuba, he writes in the ksuba that I'm not going to force you to take a neder shvuah, or your yorshim, or anyone buying b'shusech, and yochel hashbiyah. Lo hi, lo yosheh, lo es ha'ba'im b'shusech. Then he can't force her and not her inheritors, and not those that come in her place. Aval Yorshav, but if he dies, he said, I am not going to demand you to take a shvuah. I am not going to force you to take a shvuah. But my Yorshim, if chas v'shalom, the husband says, if he dies, his Yorshim, they taka can go to the wife and say, you have to take a shvuah, that you don't have anything that's not yours. You have to take a shvuah, that you didn't collect some of your ksuba already. But Yorshav mashbiin oisai ves Yorshav ves abayim b'shusa. But then the Yorshim can force her to take a shvuah, or her Yorshim to take a shvuah, or those who come in her place. Ned, if he writes, quote unquote, Ned v'shvuah ein li v'lo lo Yorshai v'lo lo abayim b'shusai alayich v'lo Yorshayich v'lo abayim b'shuseich. If he says that I will make you take a shvuah, and my Yorshim won't make a shvuah, and anyone who comes in my place won't make you take a shvuah, and they not only won't make you take a shvuah, but they won't make your Yorshim take a shvuah, and they won't make your Ba'im B'Shusech take a shvuah, then guess what? And Yochel Hashbiya lo hiv, lo yashav, lo ban b'shuso, lo osav, lo shev, lo ban b'shuso. Then where there's no shvus going on at all. Holcha mikever ba'ila lebeis aviyanu halacha. If her husband dies, and she goes straight from burying her husband back to her father's house. In other words, she doesn't go back and take control of any of the possessions of any of the estate. She doesn't worry about it. She goes immediately back to her father's house. Or she goes back to her in-laws' house. She goes back to her husband's house. But she didn't become in charge of any of his possessions. Then the Yorshin cannot force her to take a Shavua. Then they can't, because she had no responsibility over any of his possessions. Therefore, they can't say, "Oh, did you get paid back?" No, I had nothing to do with anything. If she did become in charge of his possessions, of his store or of his estate, then his Yorshin could come and say to her that she has to take a Shavua but then they can force her to take a Shavua that anything in the future after he died, that she didn't keep anything in her possessions after he died, that she acted properly. But they can't make her take a Shavua on that which about her husband, their father, her husband's business while he was alive, because the husband said, "I'm not going to force you to take a shavua about my business." But after he dies, it's a whole new deal. That Tanai is null and void. That Tanai only lasts up until his death. Anything that occurred until his death. After his death, it's a whole new situation, and the Yorshin can demand her to take a shavua on that which occurs after death, that she didn't keep anything that she wasn't supposed to, that she didn't benefit in improper way. Ad kan for today. And Mirza Hashem, tomorrow we will continue with the Gemara, Peizayin Amar Aleph, Peizayin Amar Beis. The goal again, as I stated, is to get to the Tzadik before Bein Zmanim. We'll try to continue that goal, and hopefully we'll start next man on time with the 10th parak. Call to everyone should stay safe and healthy. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to email me, Rabbi Ellman, 2Ls@gmail.com, or you could call me 053-830-9867. Have a wonderful, great day.